G'day, I'm Eric and welcome to Chillout 3D Modeling. Today we're going to be making some pine trees to go along with the previous cabin in the first episode. First things first, grab your reference images. This one I've got 3 reference images of various pine trees. For the leaves, I'm going to be using planes that I will bend in a generally leaf-shaped manner. Well, since pines don't have leaves, I'll be using needles in this case. But on these planes, I will then texture and paint onto them the shape of a branch, and I will apply a particle system to apply all of these leaves around the tree at various densities based on a weight paint that I will then apply later. I've decided to make 2 pine trees today. You see a third one being created there, but I decided against using that one as I felt it was a little too ambitious for some chill out 3D modeling. So I have 3 whole trees. I try to apply the particle systems. I fiddle around with this one quite a lot, trying to find where all the settings are. It does get a little confusing with a wall of text like this, but I do eventually find some settings that make the leaves stick out according to the normals of the tree, and then I can adjust it from there with the position of the original. Here is the weight painting. This weight painting, usually people refer to it with animation and painting how much each individual vertex will be affected by a bone. But in this case, I'm using it to affect the particle system with its density in length. So the density of how many particles, or in this case branches, be created in a certain area, and the length of said particles, which are the branches lengths. The final step of the 3D modeling in this case was to remove the particle system that I've been working on for ages. It'll still be saved, it's just not getting used. I remove it so that the particles of the individual leaves don't affect the texturing of the branch, and so the trunk can be textured separately to all the branches. After texturing, I come back over into Blender and I try and clean up the model of the trees a bit, just because the trees in this case are super high poly, and if we want lots of trees, we're going to have to cut that down a little. Then after I fiddle with it enough, I apply the leaves back onto the tree, and you can probably see I crash once because I was messing around with the particles a little too much, and the particles of all the joined leaves then came together, so that sent me back a little bit. And that's it for the trees. You can see all the applied textures. Oh wait, what's this? That's right. Bonus bush, or shrub, whatever you want to call it. I just added a 3D model, another little thing, just because it felt like there wasn't enough here yet. I model the bush in a similar way to the trees, where I start off with an isosphere in this case, and I squish it down at the bottom to give it a more bulbous shape as a bush, and then I will make a bunch of planes and use those as the bushiness to the bush, and apply those using another particle system. I take this one over into Substance Painter again and apply a simple texture where I just splatter some colours onto it. Doesn't really matter, you aren't going to be looking that closely at a shrub. You may notice that the lightest parts of the bush are towards the middle. I eventually changed that in the final render, where the lightest parts will be on the outside, as those are the leaves that are furthest out from the bush. And finally I apply the particles to the bush with another particle system, where I also apply the density weights to it, so it's a little shrubbier on top and a little less shrubby on the bottom. And now let's go to the final renders. And if anyone's still here, thank you for sticking around and watching the whole video. Hope you liked it. I'm going to be trying to do more of the similar kind of thing in the future. Make a full scene with these things. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.